Hi everyone, my name is Sam. I make music under the name Checkpoint, and this is the 6 month recap check-in video for the Song a Week project, which is insane. I took a couple months off here and there, but I started it in like August or something, and I'm still working on it. 24 songs as of now. I'm in the middle of the 25th, um, and that's crazy. I mean, that's two full-length albums. In 6 months worth of time, 8 months or whatever overall, which is just crazy. Like, this is just more than I was hoping for with this project. That's so cool. I'd like to get to a full 52. I don't have plans on like permanently ending the project. I have a couple plans to maybe put it on hold coming up. But I would like to see that album on Bandcamp with 52 songs on it. Like, that would just, I would be tickled pink. That'd be awesome. Um, but anyway, these four songs, 21 through 24, are, I think it's my favorite set of four, um, which, I think they're all really good. And I don't want to act like that's the goal, that that they're always like a good set of songs, because frankly they should be bad if I'm experimenting. I didn't do a ton of like new experimentation. I guess I kind of did, actually. I lucked out this month, I think, in terms of quality of work. um, and I don't expect it to be like that in the future. It hasn't been like that in the past, but I'm very happy with this month. So starting with 21, Dark Clouds Overhead. This I recorded. It's my acoustic guitar run through my guitar effects unit, with like heavy distortion and reverb or something. And I had recorded a bunch of guitar parts that I was going to put into like a normal kind of like roughly ambient sort of configuration. And then at the end I just decided I'll record like a bunch of these kind of like weird chords, just one after the other, and maybe I can use them for like extra or something. And I didn't like, the distortion was too much, and I didn't really like the way it was sounding, and so I just took those chords and like spliced them into a chord progression, um, and I loved it. I immediately, it's like my favorite ambient song I've ever written. I love it. It feels like a thunderstorm. It's so cool. Um, and Or it doesn't feel like a thunderstorm. It feels like clouds are rolling in like for a thunderstorm, which I love. That's so cool. And I hard panned. I had five like lanes for panning, or five, tracks, but they were all panned differently. So there's like hard left, hard right, mid left, mid right, and center. And I forget the actual order that I had it in, but because there's five and it was like a rotating pattern, so it was like hard left, mid left, hard right, center, or something like that. Um, since it wasn't an even four, it doesn't loop properly. It loops like unevenly. So the second repetition of the chords, like if the first chord was hard left, the second repetition it might be mid right or something. So there's more. It doesn't just feel like a loop that's copy pasted. I mean, it does, but if you're really listening, it isn't. And that just makes it feel a bit more natural. Like, things can kind of come out of different places. Um, and I thought that was really cool. The rain kind of like trickly sounds is a loop that I made like a couple years ago. And I don't remember what it even is. I think it's like some various drum samples, and then I just kind of like put them together, and it ended up making a cool little loop, so I exported that to use it later. And that has kind of been like DNA in my songs for a while, because that was used in the Living Life in Reverse Order, I think, EP, I think, is where I came up with the loop, and I ended up using it in a bunch of songs there. I think most of the songs on that short EP. And then I've used it in a couple other places. I used it in like 3 or 4 other Song a Weeks. So it's kind of become this like thing that it's a good texture. You can kind of use it in a lot of ways. It's good to just like sit behind a drum loop to just add extra texture. So it's kind of become like I learned about this recently, and I might have some of the details not super accurate, but this concept, I believe it was the originally in Doom, the game in like 80s or whenever it came out, early 90s, late 80s. The engine that was used for Doom had a like lighting effect. So it kind of like flicker at a particular like interval or whatever. Not the lighting itself, from what I understand, but the lighting like pattern. And then that pattern was used in like Doom 2, and then I believe it's called a Source Engine that Valve made for the Half-Life games. And then I believe it was that engine we used for like the Portal games, and I think Half-Life Alyx is the newest one, which is like a VR game from like late 2010s. I want to say like 2016 or 17. It might have even been 2020s. I don't remember. But the Source Engine was based off of the Doom engine, and so that light flicker effect was like transferred over, and is still the same like flickering that is used in games by Valve with that Source Engine today, which is insane. I mean, that's like 30, 40 years that this like piece of DNA has existed through this between different companies, I think, and everything. And it's just like a cool piece of like game trivia. But that's kind of how I like to look at this loop, is just it keeps popping up in things from, years ago or whatever. I don't know, little tangent, but that's fun. Yeah, so that song, happy with that. Next one, Scary Dreams. I did another game jam, and I recorded 3 different variations of a song, and the first one was this one, and it was like really fast because it was for like a bullet hell game, and so I was trying to make something like really quick and really intense, and it kind of sounds like it has like a weird like Powerpuff Girl theme song, like connection in my brain with the little glockenspiel and like breakbeat drums or whatever. I don't know, just kind of like has that little sound to me. But they wanted something more creepy, so I slowed it down and went with something else. But I was really happy with this, and I wanted to use it for something, so I touched it up and made a couple changes, and then released it here. So that was fun. That was a busy week because I did like 3 songs kind of in that week. Let's see, do I have any other notes about this one? Blah blah blah. Nope, that's all I put. Thunderstorms, probably my favorite song week so far. I am really happy with this. It's another one. It's acoustic guitar, recorded through my audio effects unit. I just have never really messed with that before, and I don't know why, because it's awesome. But I added like really, really intense, like bright reverb. And then in post, I added even more. And that was another one I recorded a bunch. I had intentions to write a different song with it, and things weren't coming together. It just didn't sound good. So I chopped it into those little snippets, and just added like a nice drum loop I found. And I felt really proud of myself with the drum processing. I feel like it sounds like really heavy. It's drenched in this like nice reverb. It kind of has like a Matrix sound, like it could be on the Matrix soundtrack or whatever. I don't know. It's just got such a nice vibe to it that I'm just thrilled. I absolutely love that one. Yeah, that's all I put about this one. Thrilled to pieces. It's the new like starred song on the album. That if people were to come to the page, to the Bandcamp page, that's the one that'll like start with, because I was so happy with that one. And then the last one, Forgotten Memories. This one, I just wanted to write something like kind of nice and pleasant, and it really sounds like something from the game Tunic, with the kind of like arpeggio synths coming in. I wanted to mess a little bit more with strings. That's something I'd like to do, like a whole orchestral song at some point, just because I feel very underprepared to write string parts. So I want to just get some more practice, and making them sound more organic. Same thing with piano. I'm still working on that. But yeah, I was really happy with how it all turned out. The ambience was recorded from my childhood home, which I used on the Memories EP. It's the same recording. That's another one that's like kind of popped up in a couple different things. I think I used it in a Game Jam song as well. So it's kind of some more like DNA that's existed through some different songs, which is cool. And yeah, I don't know. I just it's just nice. It's just a nice one. Um, yeah, that one uh, is is the first out of. I mean, those first three were all kind of built from the same, cut from the same cloth, I guess, which is something I do all the time with this project is reuse parts. So I forgot to mention it, but in Scary Dreams, um, the intro like chopped bit is the previous song Weak, which I've done a million times, and then um, in Thunderstorms, you can hear the pan left and right guitar chords really faintly in the background, like halfway through. So Forgotten Memories is the first one that doesn't use that, but they're all kind of like same DNA, and I'd like to put them together in some sort of. I mean, those three kind of have like a dark theme to them, like a storm theme, kind of like what I was talking about in last week's video or last month's video with that album that was like storms as a child or whatever. But I don't know. And then Forgotten Memories is cool, and the one I'm working on this week is built off of Forgotten Memories. So it kind of has like the inverse of Thunderstorms. It's like taking, instead of a dark song and then making it like dark with drums, it's like taking this happy song and then making it like happy with drums. So there's some cool parallels. It'd be fun to release like a dual EPs where one's like dark and stormy, the one's like bright and sunny. I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of these ideas to combine like tracks. But between the game jams and the song weeks, I've been a little overloaded. So I haven't really been able to mess with putting things together for a release. It's been like a year since I've released something on Spotify and stuff. And I'd really like to, because I've written more music in the past year than maybe ever before. This is shaping up to be like my most prolific year, which is very cool. I'm very happy about that. But at any rate, finish up a couple Game Jam things. Those will be coming out. I'll add those to the Game Jam album at some point. But overall, 6 months in, that's really cool. I'm really happy with this. It's been a really good. It's been a crazy 6 months. When I look back at what I was doing 6 months ago in my life, I mean, a lot has changed, which is good. A lot has changed, and I've remained consistent to the project, which I like. And then I did allude to this earlier. I think I'll be taking a break. I was going to take a break now, but then I started this next song, and it's cool. So maybe after 25, I'll take a brief intermission, or maybe I'll do one more month's worth. Take a brief intermission, because I'd like to have the time to put those songs into albums. I've been rattling around in my brain another like sequel to the Threshold secret album that I really want to do, and I should probably wait and do that this November for the project month, because it'd be cool to have those be like sequential project month things. But it's just been like gnawing away at my brain, so I kind of at least want to dedicate some time to like filter through some of those thoughts and see what it is that I want with that. And then I have another completely unrelated project that I started last year and then just overloaded myself and got too busy. So I put it on hold, but that's like a video editing project that I really want to. I really, really want to do it. But that'll take me months. So that would mean like I stop everything else, or maybe not everything else, but at least like I can do a game jam and I can do a song a week. I can do putting an album together and I can do a song a week, or I can do a project month. I can do one big thing or two smaller things. So if I did this other video, it would be like I can do the video and maybe a song a week, or I could do the video and maybe a game jam at the same time, but then not the song a week. Like something's gotta go. It's too much to do all at once. I know that. So I'm working on how to figure that out, and I hate to put projects on hold, especially like this sort of project where it is consistency is the whole thing. But I think regardless, if I put it on hold, my one rule is that when I come back or whatever, um, any song that I add to this has to be written start to finish in 1 week window, which I've done so far. Even when I took like a month off, I didn't. When I came back, it wasn't like a song that I had been slowly working on over that month. It was like as soon as I decided I was going to do another one, I gave myself a week to work on that song. So, regardless if there's breaks or gaps, rest assured that the principle of writing a song and really like song start to finish in a 1 week window, that will stay. Like that has to stay. That rule is like very important to me. Um, so I'm just looking over at my project board with my to dos on it, and it's exciting. So I'm doing another game jam now. I think I was asked if I was available, and it's over the next. I think there's like 2 or 3 weeks left to it, but I haven't heard anything. So that might be off the table. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I guess follow me on Instagram if you want to see more. Whenever I make stuff like this, I try to post about it or something. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I told myself that I was gonna keep this like I'll just do like a 5-10 minute video this week. I'll just like I wrote down my notes. I'll just run through them, and I won't have tangents and I won't ramble, because I feel like 5-10 minutes is like a respectable like reasonable length for something like this. But I'm looking and it's like 17 or 16 minutes now or whatever, and that's I don't expect anyone to watch this. It's more for my archive anyway, so I guess it's okay if I ramble. But yeah, that's where we're at. 6 months in, 24 songs in. That's sick. That's sick as hell. Um, cool. Yeah, that's all I have for you this time. Go make stuff, and I'll see you soon. Maybe in a month. Probably not though. But maybe another video. I don't know. I'll see you later. Bye.